Tired of waiting for that big burst of motivation that never seems to arrive? Do you ever feel like you're stuck in a rut? Wanting to get smarter, learn a new skill, or just feel more on top of your game, but the sheer effort feels overwhelming? What if I told you the secret to massive cognitive improvement isn't about grand gestures, but about something almost invisibly small? Welcome to the 1% rule. It's a concept so simple yet so powerful. It can completely rewire how you approach personal growth. Forget the idea of needing to spend hours a day buried in books or locked in intense study sessions. We're going to explore how tiny, consistent efforts, as small as 1% improvement each day, can lead to an explosion of cognitive gains over time. This isn't about hustling harder. It's about learning to outsmart your own brain. Let's start with a little math, but don't worry, it's the fun kind. Imagine you improve by just 1% every single day for a year. What do you think the result would be? You might think, okay, 365% better? Not even close. Because of the power of compounding, that tiny 1% daily improvement doesn't just add up, it multiplies. After 1 year, you wouldn't be 3.65 times better. You'd be nearly 38 times better than when you started. Now let's flip that. What happens if you get just 1% worse each day? Maybe you skip your reading, zone out on social media instead of learning, or just let your mind go stale. At the end of the year, you'd be left with just 3% of your original ability. The difference is staggering. This is the magic and the warning of compounding. Small, seemingly insignificant choices, repeated over time, create our reality. The problem is, our brains are not naturally wired to appreciate this. We crave instant gratification. We want to see results asterisk now asterisk. When we start a new habit, like learning a language for 15 minutes a day, after 3 days we feel like we've made zero progress. Our brain says, see? This is pointless, you haven't learned anything. Let's go watch a movie instead. This is the critical moment where most people give up. They abandon the tiny seed before it has a chance to sprout. But the 1% rule isn't about motivation. It's about building a system that bypasses the need for motivation altogether. Motivation is a fickle friend. It comes and goes. A system, on the other hand, is something you can rely on day in and day out. So, how do we build this system for cognitive gain? The first step is to make it ridiculously easy. Let's say you want to become more knowledgeable about world history. The all-or-nothing approach would be to buy 5 thick history books and vow to read for 2 hours every night. You might last a week if you're lucky before burnout hits. The 1% approach is different. Your goal isn't to read history for 2 hours. Your goal is to read 1 page of a history book. That's it. Just one. Can you do that? Of course you can. It takes 2 minutes. It's so easy that it feels almost silly asterisk, not asterisk to do it. There's no internal resistance. Your brain doesn't even have time to come up with an excuse. And here's the beautiful trick you play on your own mind. Once you've read that 1 page, what often happens? You might think, well, that was easy. I'm already here, I might as well read another page. Or maybe finish the chapter. You've overcome the biggest hurdle, starting. You've used a micro-habit to generate momentum, and momentum creates its own motivation. This is what author James Clear calls atomic habits. Habits so small they are like the atoms of our lives. Individually, they seem insignificant, but put them together, and they build remarkable structures. Let's apply this to other areas of cognitive enhancement. Want to improve your vocabulary? Your 1% goal isn't to memorize 20 new words. It's to learn *1 new word a day. Look it up, understand its context, and try to use it once. That's a tiny investment for a long-term payoff. After a year, you've effortlessly added 365 new words to your arsenal. Want to get better at problem solving? Don't try to tackle a massive complex problem that will leave you frustrated. Instead, spend 10 minutes each day solving a small puzzle, a riddle, a Sudoku, a chess problem, or a short coding challenge. You're not trying to become a grandmaster overnight. You're just oiling the gears of your mind, making that 1% improvement in logical thinking. The key is consistency over intensity. Think of it like water carving a canyon. A single flood might wash away some surface dirt, but it's the slow, steady, persistent trickle of the river, day after day, year after year, that carves the Grand Canyon. Your daily 1% is that trickle. But how do we ensure this consistency? We need to create triggers and rewards. A trigger is a cue that prompts your habit. For example, After I pour my morning coffee, I will read one page of my book. The act of pouring coffee becomes the automatic signal for your brain to initiate the habit. Your habit stacking, linking your new, tiny habit to an existing one. The reward is equally important, especially in the beginning. Remember, our brain loves instant gratification. Since the long-term cognitive reward is far away, we need to give ourselves a small, immediate win. After you complete your one-page reading, give yourself a mental high five. Seriously. Say to yourself, "Nice job." That's a win for today. This small act of self-acknowledgement releases a little bit of dopamine, making your brain associate the habit with a positive feeling. It starts to crave that feeling, making it even easier to repeat the habit the next day. Over time, the habit itself becomes the reward. You'll start to enjoy the feeling of learning, the quiet satisfaction of seeing your knowledge base grow, and the increased confidence that comes with it. You will no longer need the external pat on the back because the internal feeling of progress is so much more powerful. This process also builds a new identity. You're not just a person trying to read more. Every time you read your daily page, you are casting a vote for being a reader. Every time you learn your daily word, you're casting a vote for being a lifelong learner. When you do it consistently, you start to believe it. Your identity shifts, and your actions naturally start to align with that new identity, making good habits feel less like a chore and more like an expression of who you are. The 1% rule protects you from the trap of perfectionism. Many of us don't start because we feel we can't do it perfectly. The 1% rule embraces imperfection. Had a terrible busy day and only have the mental energy to read one paragraph instead of one page? Great, you still kept the streak alive. You still made your 0.5% improvement. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to never have a 0 day, never let the compound interest reset. So let's make this practical for you right now. What is one area of your cognitive life you want to improve? Your critical thinking? Your memory? Your knowledge in a specific field? Now, what is the smallest possible action you could take? The 1% improvement. If it's writing, don't aim for a chapter. Aim for one sentence. If it's learning an instrument, don't aim for a song. Aim to practice one chord for 2 minutes. If it's meditation for mental clarity, don't aim for 30 minutes. Aim for 1 minute of focused breathing. Define that ridiculously small action. Then, decide on your trigger. When and where will you do it? After I brush my teeth, I will ... double quotes, or when I sit down on the train, I will ... double quotes, be specific. Finally, decide on your immediate reward. A check mark in a journal, a moment of quiet satisfaction, whatever works for you. Remember, the goal for the first few weeks is not to achieve mastery. The goal is simply to show up, to build the habit of showing up. The results will take care of themselves. That initial resistance you feel is just your old brain trying to keep you in your comfort zone. By making the task too small to fail, you sneak right past that guard. You outsmart your own resistance. The power of the 1% rule is that it works quietly in the background of your life. While others are waiting for a lightning bolt of motivation, you are laying bricks, one by one. And one day, you'll look back and realize you've built an incredible fortress of knowledge and skill. All without the struggle and burnout you thought was necessary. You didn't hustle. You compounded. Stop underestimating the power of tiny gains and stop overestimating the importance of one big event. Your future intelligence, your success, your cognitive fitness, it's all determined by the small, consistent choices you make today. What's your 1% going to be? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what tiny habit you're going to start. Thank you so much for watching. If this idea resonated with you, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content on how to build a better brain, one small step at a time. See you in the next one.
Hit subscribe and start your next level.